There's a lot of great teams in this league, and I think we mentioned that we're picked to win the league preseason, which really for me doesn't mean a ton, other than the fact that we had a good team last year and we got a lot of good players coming back. But in this league, you can lose to any team in this league. You don't show up, you'll get beat, and our team fully recognizes that and understands that. You have to stay in the moment and continue one game at a time. But we are excited about this upcoming season of what we have coming back on our team. Starting with our quarterback Taylor Lamb, who's a guy who's been there seems like forever now. Going to be a 4-year starter for us. But we have Jalen Moore coming back at running back. That's an outstanding running back as well. Excited about that. Shea Metters, you got Colby Gossett at right guard, Bo Nunn at right tackle. A lot of these guys have won a lot of football games. Then you look at the other side of the ball. We did lose some talent on defense, but we have a lot of guys coming back. Starting with Eric Boggs, an inside linebacker, who's had an outstanding career. He'll be a 4-year starter for us. A.J. Howard, who's here today, who's be a 4-year starter. Devin Stringers, 4-year starter. I mean, these guys have played a lot of football for us on the defensive side of the ball. Then Mike Stout is our starting nose. I think could be one of the better players in this league. He maybe won't have the stats because he's getting double teamed, triple teamed, but he'll be a force to be reckoned with up front. T. Sims is a defensive end who I think could really have an outstanding year as well. I just think with the nucleus we got coming back, we do have an opportunity to compete at a high level in this league, and we're excited about it. And we have a great slate of games. I think starting with Georgia, starting the season off. In between the hedges, that'll be fun. I'm excited about that game, and then we have Wake Forest coming to Boone, North Carolina, which I think is outstanding for us as a team. We used to play quite often back in the 90s, early 2000s, and then we haven't played them in a while. So, and now we've never had them in Boone, so this is going to be awesome to get them up on the mountain. So, but anyway, with that, open up to any questions.
Coach, I wanted to talk to you about one of those kids, guys coming back, Josh Thomas. Where do you see him fitting on this team this year? I know he hadn't got a lot of playing time his first couple of years, but where do you see him fitting at this year?
Yeah, I mean, right now Josh he'll be as a starter in the secondary at safety, and really played well for us last year. Really came on strong there toward the middle end of the season. Had a big bowl game for us against Toledo, and what an unbelievable human being. Love what he represents off the field. He's really worked hard to change his body. He's running a lot better, and going to be a really good football player this year for us, and I'm really awesome that he's back there in the back end starting for us now.
Coach, you talked about the poll and so forth with expectations. Y'all will probably be favored in every game this year after the Georgia game. Does that put more pressure on your team, and is there a concern that your guys know that if you don't almost run the table, that it almost might come off as a disappointment to a lot of people?
I don't think so. I mean, that's talk. That's media talk and talk around anybody that knows anything about our program. But our guys have done an outstanding job of trying to stay in the moment. I think during August camp, we're focused on camp and focused on getting better as a football team. We really don't talk about any opponents that we have to play. And then the week leading up to Georgia, obviously every talk that we have will be on Georgia. And then that's it. And then the next week it'll be Savannah State. So we kind of just stay in the moment. We don't really talk about any of that kind of stuff. We hope at the end of the season that what we've done, that our work has been good enough to compete for that championship, and hopefully we have a championship. But we don't look at it in that terms of overall saying, hey, we're favored in most all our games. I mean, I don't really see it that way. Again, I mentioned earlier, I think any team that we're playing in our conference can beat us if we don't show up. So, you take it game by game. Obviously, it's cliche, but that's exactly what we've been doing. That's why we've been successful, I think, over the last several years.
In kind of in the same vein, it's just the way things fell, but you don't play any of the other top 4 teams, at least voted on in the conference here. How do you feel about that and just not getting to play some of the top teams this year?
Well, I think as you go back to when we first started in this league, we had a pretty tough slate. We had to go to Louisiana Lafayette, had to go to Arkansas State back-to-back weeks, 2 of the teams that were top teams in the league at that time. It's just the way it is. We don't set the schedule. All we can do is manage the schedule and play the teams that's on the schedule for us to play, and that's how we'll approach it. I can assure you of this: the order of operation they have in this league right now is not going to the way it's going to be at the end. So you don't know who's going to be number 2, 3, or 4. You don't know who's going to be number 1. You got to go out and play these football games. So we don't look at that. We don't worry about that. again, we're going to focus on the teams that we got to play that particular week, and hopefully we've done good enough at the end of that game in order to get the win.
Y'all gave Tennessee all they wanted last year. Is there anything you can take away from that game and kind of put in place for Week 1 against Georgia?
Well, I think the fact that last year Tennessee was picked, preseason to win the East, had a really good football team, a lot of good players coming back. Georgia's a little bit in that same category with 11 starters back on defense. You got the quarterback back, maybe the 2 best running backs in the country on the same team there as a combo. So it'll be a big-time challenge for us to go down there and compete against Georgia. But we're looking forward to it. We have several guys from the state of Georgia on our team. I'm sure they're going to be excited about going down to Athens and playing. So. We are excited. Will we take anything away from that last game? No, other than the fact that we were able to be competitive, I think, and that's something that I think would give you a little bit of confidence to know that. But it's a different game, different team. They got a different team. We do too. So hopefully we'll have a great game plan and our guys will go execute. I think the main thing for us in that game is I want to enjoy the experience. I want our guys to enjoy the experience of playing an SEC team, in that environment. Let's go have fun. Let's go have fun and enjoy that, and hopefully it'll be good enough to be able to be competitive in that game.
Next. Yeah. Back here.
Okay.
Brett Martell with AP. Media talk is one thing, but then this morning the commissioner of the conference is talking about the expectation as early as this year, having a team from this league play on New Year's Day and win, and presumably Appalachian State is one of the candidates that he views to do that. What do you make of that expectation, I guess, from an official source within the conference?
Yeah.
And, is he doing a disservice to your want to just focus on one game at a time?
Well, no, I think he wants what we want. We'd love to be that team, and certainly at the end of the season, I hope we are. But that's not something that you focus on. You can't focus on that if you're in my position or if you're a player's position. You can't focus on that. You just have to focus in the moment, and then hope it's good enough, and then maybe you're able to do that. But it takes a special year for that to happen. You're going to have to win your non-conference games. We've got some tough scheduled non-conference games, and then you're going to have to run a table within the conference. Last year South Al beat Mississippi State, San Diego State, then struggled a little bit in the conference. So you got to put both of them together in order for that to happen. It's got to be a special year. It's like Western Michigan last year. It's got to have one of those special type seasons. So, I hope we are. I don't know. I just think we have a team that can compete in most all our games. We should be very competitive. Will we win them all? I don't know. That remains to be seen. So, but yeah, I'm like Carl. I'd love to have us be a team that can go compete and play in that type of bowl game. So that just remains to be seen. I think we're real close within this league. I think this league, the competitiveness is continuing to grow between all the teams from top to bottom. And I think it's just going to make our team better, our league better. So hopefully there'll be a team one day, and hopefully it's in the near future.
Scott, you guys brought A.J. Howard here. Not a guy who's gotten a ton of individual recognition in his career. Just can you kind of speak what value he brings to this defense with as long as he's played with you guys?
Yeah, that's a good question because A.J., is a guy who kind of an unsung type guy. Doesn't get a ton of accolades, but he's been a solid contributor of our football team for a long, long time. And it's not just on Saturdays. A.J.'s one of these guys that if you go into our offices throughout this summer or any time he's been there, he's one of these guys watching film. Maybe a Monday or Tuesday or afternoon, he's just in there watching film. And that kind of leadership goes a long ways for your football team. So to reward A.J. to be able to come down to New Orleans and represent our football team, it means a lot to him, it means a lot to me, and other players see that. And, so it takes everybody on your football team, not just a guy who's getting all the notoriety. You got to have some guys here that are doing some of the dirty work, and A.J.'s kind of been that guy. And I think A.J. could have a breakout year. He could have an outstanding year for us, tackling and interceptions. He had a big play at the Detroit game last year and kind of got us turned around there. But he's a really good player and more importantly, a great human being.
Coach, obviously Miami coming down to Boone was a huge deal for the community. Now that that's over with and all of that kind of hype has died down, do you think that's going to help prepare for Wake Forest? Do you think there was any kind of the team was maybe too excited or there was just a little too much tension for that game?
Well, I think first of all it was a great thing for Appalachian State University last year, for Miami coming there, couple years earlier that you would never thought that Miami would come to Boone, and so that was huge. But yeah, to answer your question, I said yes, because that was an experience. We learned some things about that, bringing that big-time school to our program, just logistics throughout the week, all the different things that went on. We learned a lot as a football team, and so yeah, we'll certainly take that with us this year when Wake Forest comes up. Wake, it's a little bit different scenario in the fact that they're so close, they're an hour and a half away. We know a lot more about their program. We've played them many times over the years, so that in that point it'll be a little bit different. But yeah, it'll be a huge game again. I mean, this will be a sellout crowd. It'll be a great atmosphere. Wake Forest is a really good football team coming in here, but yeah, we'll certainly take a lot of the things that we didn't do as well that day and apply them this year when Wake Forest comes to town. Is that it? Awesome. Thank you, guys.